You have to give me a minute, as my friend Henry said to me a couple of days ago. He's been waiting 30 years to see you, to see this. Thank you all for coming here today. Much of what I'm about to say was written in response to an email that I got saying the Occupy movement would go nowhere, that was the way things were. And the rest is just my personal thoughts to you. As I look out on all of you, I have the proof of what I've believed all along. The unprincipled politicians who seek office without accountability to the people, and the corporations who put Wall Street before Main Street, have long believed they could divide our nation. Those politicians have told you that you are part of their base, a base neatly crafted by them to ensure your support in their election. They have played on your fears and differences rather than speak to your strengths and commonality of purpose. The corporations have tried to separate our citizenry through marketing and branding, crafting offers and ads that promise exclusive access, gold cards, priority services, as they have chipped away at the foundation of the middle class, and they have used every sleight of hand to make you believe that your status has actually improved. Both have tried to pit citizen against citizen, teachers against laborers, unions against white collar, and the different ethnicities one against the other. But look around you and around our nation. It hasn't worked. What they say no longer resonates with we the people. Chances for greatness come rarely for an individual, a culture, or a nation. Rarer still are those moments in history where the chance for greatness touches them all. Now is such a time. How we as individuals and as a nation respond to this call will play no small role in the future that is to come. Greatness cannot be measured, yet we are able to take its measure. Cannot be defined, but we know when we are in its presence. Cannot be heard, but we have always hastened and rallied to its call. Now it has emerged and will emerge in the most unlikely of places, or so it would seem to those who simply do not understand or wish not to do so. For greatness, the best of humanity, appears where it is needed, not where we would have or wish it to be. When I first saw the pictures of the Occupy movement, I thought, so few against the daunting towers of cement and steel. But each demonstration, like varied and vibrant pieces of cloth, is part of the fabric that shaped the spirit of America. Each has begun to send out threads across the country, weaving a quilt that will blanket the nation that cannot, will not be ignored. We are a unique people, difficult for those who do not live amongst us to understand. America has never been defined by its structures, its economic sphere, nor even its military power. Rather, America is an idea, an ideal, a spirit, perhaps even the soul of a dream for a better future for all mankind. I have heard many people say in an effort to undermine the renaissance of this American spirit that this movement has no objectives and no demands. Then let us be clear. To the unprincipled politicians who seek to influence and govern the uninformed, misrepresenting us by seeking office and not service, let us assure them we will be watching. Yeah! Let us demand that they stop spending their time at the podium making speeches or seeking credit and spend it saving and serving problems. Like the founding fathers, sit together in a room, lock the doors, debate, discuss, and yes, if new information arises, change your mind and come out with proposals that make sense and that justify the seats of governance you occupy. Let us hold the truth of their actions to the light for all to see, and if they betray the people's trust, we will see them defeated in disgrace. For in the words of Thomas Jefferson, an honest man can feel no pleasure in the exercise of power over his fellow citizens. Let us seek out candidates whose qualifications for office must not first be run through the filter of a checkbook. We will no longer accept the worst government money can buy. To the consumer goods mercantile machines who work tirelessly to convince the American people that they must have everything they want at prices possible only because they're based on slave wages, let us say enough. Let us buy what we need and do so at a price that allows our neighbors to earn a living wage. Let us tell those who say America's time for manufacturers past that we remember well who built this country and by whose hands it was raised. Let us remind them that it is greed and not the ability of the American workforce that calls the day, and we will put the skills of our people back where they belong, in the heart of the workplace. To the banks and investment houses who gamble on the very necessities of the citizens of our nation of the world, let us serve notice today that they will be held accountable for business decisions which seek to profit from dishonest, misleading, groundless, or predatory practices. Let us demand that they return the process of speculation to its proper place as a bridge between buyer and seller and not as a license to print money. That they will no longer be able to hide behind the illusion of a free market because the curtains have drawn aside and the puppeteers have been exposed. Thomas Paine said long ago, while avarice and ambition have a place in the heart of man, the weak will become prey to the strong. Let us say here and now, you will no longer thoughtlessly manipulate our lives, our economy, and our nation without fear of judgment. To the insurance companies who put profit before people and bonuses before basic health care, let us make it clear that we will work to create a system where health care works to the benefit of all of our citizens. And let us ask them to help us create such a system or step aside. To the media, the majority of whom seem to believe it is their task to make the American people believe that the sizzle they proffer is really steak, let us no longer listen. Like the carnival barker whose only mission is to have you think about only what lies inside the tent, or the emperors of Rome who sought through the games of the Colosseum to shift the public's attention from society's decay that enveloped the empire, you have chosen your course. But we will no longer be either diverted or deceived. Let us place importance above impact. Let us turn off their programs and cease to listen to their talk shows. When they can provide us, to the best of their ability, the truth as the information they have causes them to believe it to be, then and only then will we let them enter our lives. Finally, to the Supreme Court, let us say when you let partisan politics influence your deliberations, you betray the sacred trust placed in you by the Founding Fathers. But let us not stop there. Let us work to hold them accountable to the Constitution and to the spirit of these democratic United States. There is no place for party in the determination of the values which define our great nation. This and more we can and will do. The genius lies within all of us, regardless of race, religion, geography, party, or any other divisive classification. The challenge is great, but the strategy is clear. All of us must spend some of our time, our energy, and our passion in the work of our governments and for the betterment of our communities. It is our welcome burden, the price we pay for our freedom and our form of government. If we do not do so, to call ourselves a democracy is a sham, for there is no room for free riders in this home of liberty. So go out there and be the threads that reach out to the members of your communities and to Americans everywhere, continuing to weave the cloth begun by our founding fathers, a cloth, though weakened by the ravages of attack and neglect, has never in our history been torn asunder. Thank you. Thank you.
Steve Spratt, thank you. That was a great speech.
Thank you.
Don't you all think so? Awesome guy. He was our representative.